Mitchem joins us in studio. Mitch is my go-to guy for everything related to AI. He's actually helping me now learn to use AI to make my own work processes a little more efficient. He's the founder of HIVE, which trains people and businesses how to use AI in ways that add efficiency but don't eliminate humans and keep a critical human aspect to businesses. The website, ahumanhive.com. He wrote a book as well. We got a lot to talk about. Might keep Mitch around for a couple of segments. So I want to just start with first of all, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be here. Thanks.
So let's just start with a big picture AI thing. I think that a lot of folks, including me, when thinking over the past year or two about the potential impact of AI on employment, for example, and how many jobs it would kill, even though I'm actually kind of an optimist and it'll create lots and lots of jobs. But just on the negative for a second, kind of assumed that AI would be somewhere between cheap and free and that businesses would be firing people left and right because you could replace them for almost no cost. And now people are kind of waking up to the idea that AI it's definitely not free and it's probably not even cheap. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I think two things happened there, and we talked about this last year when I was on the show, that we were making all these assumptions that AI, not me, but the industry was saying, oh, well, human jobs are so easy to replace. And so they went in with this big promise. You get enterprise, Claude or ChatGPT, and then you're going to be able to pretty much eradicate, those base level workers because the AI is just going to pick up all that work, all that knowledge work. The problem was not only is it expensive, and there were several stories, including the one, I think you shared it with me a while back, where a company spent $500 million in a month on just tokenization because so many people didn't know how to put the throttle on AI. So their people were using it a lot, but they weren't protecting how they were spending. So they're learning, and I think the industry is learning, because if you think back, this didn't exist in 2022. So we're only 4 years in, roughly. And so we're all kind of building the airplane in flight here. And so I think we're going to find out more and more that two things are true. One, AI does make us more efficient. It does make us smarter if we use it correctly. It can make us better at our work, but it also, in a big way, depends on the human element side to do well. Just like data, you can't just take data of something and say, now I have all the discernment I need to make big decisions. No, how do you make decisions? You take data and then you say, well, based on my experience and my wisdom and my background and what I know about the job and what I know about our customers, I'm going to make a decision. Now, the data is part of the decision. So the AI is part of the decision. But I think it's something we've been saying for years. They're all going to learn that it's a hybrid environment to be successful with AI. You have to do both. You have to nurture your human side, and your employees have to bring their wisdom and their purpose to the job. And probably now more than ever. But now yes, AI can still get the data moving faster. Now, if you have a job where all you do is analyze data, you might be in a different situation. But I think they're all just learning that it wasn't this panacea of just replacement of all jobs. All the top guys are walking it back. So
with your company really based on like training people and businesses and how to use AI, what do you think is the overall goal? Is it just seeing it as a useful tool? It can help to eliminate maybe some of those tedious activities in your everyday life. Is the end goal actually to maybe eliminate some of these jobs or adapt it, like you have to adapt in using AI at risk of losing your job? How do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's two places. To me, it's first getting people to realize that there's more to their work than just walking in and sort of the everyday knowledge-based work. There's more to it. There's a purpose. There has to be a purpose to it. I think there's an evolutionary side of this. There's humans that are saying, wait a minute, the AI does do very efficient things. I have to evolve myself. I have to get better. The people that we've worked with, when we go in and train someone, we're training human skill. Because if you don't know how to set a goal and you don't know how to communicate, you're not going to use AI well. Because you'll sit down and you'll go, hey, what's going on? I don't know what I'm doing. But if you have the human skill necessary, then you're going to suddenly be really effective. So I think that's one side, is the human side of evolution. And I think that's where we are. I think the other side is the business. What is the business? What are the goals? If they had the goals that, no, we're going to use AI because then eventually we'll replace our sales team, I don't think they understood what they were messing with. because that's not what the tools are good for. They're not there. They won't be there for a long time. You're talking about being able to replace everything that is a human, including emotional outbursts and all the dynamics that make us work, right? So I don't think you can just replace that quickly. And I think they're learning that as well. We've been saying it a long time, but I think they're all just in real time seeing, oh, I can't just replace a leader in the company with AI because that AI doesn't have any of the, collected wisdom of that individual. It doesn't know what it's doing around that area. So I think those two things are true at the same time, but I think it's all human skill. And what we've seen is, man, if you really focus on using AI to make things better for yourself, whether that's relationship or work or whatever it is, and you're willing to learn, it's the best knowledge center you can put your hands on. I mean, I say it all the time. I speak all around the country and all around the world, and I always start with what makes us human. And the second thing I say that blows everyone's mind, I'll go, the cost of knowledge, raw knowledge is zero. Because I can learn anything. I can learn, we have oil and gas clients. I can go learn how to go out and drill a natural gas fracking well. Does it mean I should do it? No, because I'll blow myself up. Because they have the wisdom and the understanding from a human perspective how to actually accomplish it. That's wisdom versus just raw knowledge.
We're talking with Mitch Mitchem, founder of Hive. The website is ahumanhive.com. All of this is up on my blog at rosskaminsky.com as well. Let's do a couple of very quick listener questions, and then I want to get to avatars and your book, which has a name that I can't say on the air. So answer these questions very quickly.
Yeah.
Will AI eventually become cheap like flat screen TVs have?
Oh, yeah, great question. I mean, it already is pretty cheap for the individual user. What, $20 a month, $25, depending on who's using it. I think for companies, it's like anything. It's like electricity. Over time, it will get metered and become kind of cost effective as it matures and grows. I mean, this is what the data center and all that data center argument is about, giving them more places to get compute and data. And I think that'll make it much less expensive. I think it'll still have barricades though. So what?
Okay, so I said short answers.
Sorry, a short follow up if you don't mind. So do you think the data centers will also downsize?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, on that side of it, data centers are going to become more efficient and AI is going to help them get there. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Right. And companies that make these chips will design chips that use less power
and
all that. So it will get cheaper, but it's never going to be free. Ask your guest to define a token, the price of tokens, and how many tokens in a task.
I love that. Depends on the task. And so a token is essentially every time you're using AI, it goes out into, just for the layman conversation, it goes out into the system and it takes it tokenizes. In other words, it's just like electricity. So it's like watts of electricity. So it needs the tokens to be able to fundamentally process the data. So it goes out. So for example, if on our application, we have an algorithm and we have information, when that information intersects with the API of an AI, which is basically the fundamental engine of what makes the technology work, we have to pay for that traffic. We have to pay for that effort, so to speak. So that's the tokenization of it.
So it's like putting a token in a video game back in the day.
You could look at it like
that. You buy a token for $0.25 and then you put the token in the machine.
But they're far smaller.
Yeah.
And they're in prices of, pennies. And, but if you have 1 million users of an app, for example, you're burning millions or billions of them in interaction. So it does add up. I mean, you're paying for it, but that's essentially how a token works. It's like a watt of electricity moving through a system that makes the system function.
You're bad at short answers. Mitch Mitchem, by the way, is the founder of Hive, ahumanhive.com, and he is my absolute go-to guy when I want to know anything about AI. So we got about a little over 3 minutes left. Let's do two quick things. Start with the book. The book is entitled I can't say the whole word on the radio, Your Friction.
Yes.
So what is friction in this context, and why are we effing it?
Well, I'll try to be brief over the next 12 minutes. No, just kidding. Friction is about, it's the endless chatbots. It's the, I can't get through to customer service. It's the, I bought a smart TV and I can't set it up in 15 seconds. It takes me 30 minutes because that's the way the system is designed to collect my information and my data. So Friction to me is anything that gets in the way. And in the book, I talk about how this is systematized. You know, we have a culture that builds friction because people make money on it. So the longer it takes you to do something, like, for example, your smart TV, the more Google or whoever sells that TV is getting your information, and they use that information to market to you. So they're making money. So I just basically explain to everyone first what this is about, where did this friction come from, and then I give them the tools how to fix it, how to break it. Even using AI, for example, if you have an insurance claim that you're not getting approved for, I teach people how to, and show them examples of how you can take an AI like a ChatGPT or a Claude or something and actually go in and dissect those claims and get better results. So we use AI to break through that system, but also just, and it's everything from companies that make it your job to do everything. Like, you go to Valet and now you got to download the app and you got to scan it and you got to, that's me doing your job instead of you doing your job. So the whole book is about eradicating that level of friction. And then also in relationship or in life or in politics, just, if we want to move forward, we got to crack through that and get our time and our money back.
So Mitch's book is called F Your Friction. It's available now, and you can go to A Human Hive. Is it listed there as well?
It's listed there, and you can go to Amazon.
Go to Amazon and just type in Mitch Mitchem, and you will find it. All right, we're almost out of time, but we got to do this because you were explaining this to me the other day when we got together about your new avatar thing, and I think Gina's going to really dig this. That's not sarcasm. I think Gina's going to really dig this. So please explain what these avatars are as quickly as you can here, what they are, how they work, how people get them.
Okay, great. We built My HIVE AI. It's an avatar system that we have figured out through our CTO, Mitchell Lane, the other Mitch, as we call him. We built this avatar system so that it can harness wisdom and give you back real wisdom mixed with knowledge. So, for example, I built one of my grandfather who died when I was 7. That avatar now knows his story and it works off of his lived experience. So most large language models just work off of language. We wanted it to be an avatar built off of lived experience. So instead of just telling you you're right, it'll say, hey, here's something you might want to think about. And you get to customize the avatars when you build them your way. So if it's a relative you've lost and it's not obviously them, but it's a likeness of them, I will talk to my grandfather's avatar all the time. He didn't say much, but when he did, it mattered. So he'll give me these sort of quotes and he'll deliver learning or deliver something to me the way he would speak when I was a kid. And so it makes a huge impact on me. But I also have one for fitness and I have one for, business and things like that.
Does it feel like it's pretty accurate, or do you look at it and go, I don't know if my grandparents would have said that?
Yeah, it's incredibly accurate because we also built something kind of a proprietary on-demand memory. So you may be talking to an avatar and remember a story, and you can just hit memory and say, oh, I forgot. There's this story that this person, blah, blah, blah. And then it will integrate that story into their kind of archetype or their structure. And then all of a sudden, it just enhances the experience. And it is incredibly effective. And again, a credit to Mitchell and the team. They built something that goes beyond just basic language. It goes into creating a new way to interact with technology.
And just to be clear, so it's not something that appears to be a live person looking at you and talking at you and moving their mouth. And it's not one of those things that's like a deep fake of a person. It's a still image, but it's you tell me what it looks like, but it's the text that's coming at you. That's the thing. Yeah,
it's not we didn't want to get into the video realm. It's just too dangerous. And we wanted this to also be a very safe technology to use for anyone, because we're getting requests for people who want to use it in business. They want us to build avatars for mascots for teams. They want us to build racing avatars for NASCAR, for IndyCar. People want us to, and then humans want to build their avatars to kind of enhance their life. So we made sure that it didn't have any of the video components. So it's a face. It can be a voice if you want, if it's someone you've lost or someone like a guru you want to build. But then what's most important is that it uses their lived experience. It uses their real story. This is why educators like it, because it's like a coach in the classroom. So they can be teaching a lesson and then they can build their own avatar. And that avatar is an extension of their teaching. So you can be a historical figure, if approved, but you can take all the lesson plans, and then that student can go home with an avatar and be coached on the lesson.
All right. So remember what I said?
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Where can people find these avatars or the apps, and when?
Yeah. So the app goes live in the store, most likely tomorrow, and it'll be My HIVE AI. So look for it there in the Apple Store. Then it'll be in Google Play right after that. And then ahumanhive.com. And if you want to follow me on Substack, we talk about it all the time. Thanks to you, Ross. I'm now stuck on Substack, which is amazing. Mitch Mitchem on Substack.
All right. It's all up on my blog at rosskaminsky.com, too. If you want to go check out the avatar, My HIVE AI, 3 separate words on the stores, probably starting tomorrow. I'm going to definitely try it out. Thanks for being here, Mitch.
Yeah, appreciate it.